Hi, hello everyone. My name's Aaron. Welcome back to the Libra Project. I've got your daily collective reading here for you on this wonderful Friday afternoon. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get this deck smudged up. I've got my Palo Santo, got my incense ready to go. Get this energy nice and clean and clear for you guys, and we will jump into the reading. Now, as with any collective reading, this is not for anybody in particular so much as it is for the collective. So I always tell people, if you are here watching this reading, I do believe that there is something here for you. However, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't try to make it fit. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and just go with that, you know? You'll know if I'm talking to you or if I'm not. It might even be the kind of thing where part of the reading is for you and part of the reading is not for you, and you know, maybe it'll even make more sense later, who knows. So we're gonna get this going. It looks good. Light my incense. And let's get started. All right. What does my lovely collective need to know on this Friday? Got Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay. Yeah, me too. So I'm getting like some kind of frustrated energy, is what I'm getting from this card. I'm getting that maybe you have like something that you're very passionate about that you've been working on that maybe is not coming into fruition as quickly as you would like it to. Maybe there's some frustrations related to that. Definitely getting frustrated, getting energy blockages. I'm getting like stuck energy vibes. Like something wants to flow here, or you really want something to flow here, and for whatever reason it's just kind of like stuck or like stagnant. So what's going on with that? Got 8 of Swords. Yeah, I'm getting that you're stuck and you're not happy about it. You're kind of worried actually, that you're stuck. Like, I think you really want this energy to move. You really want to feel like you're making progress. I'm getting like honestly, like your heart is hurting a little bit. I don't know that it's necessarily like a breakup or related to like a person or like, you know, kind of romantic love or whatever, but like your heart is hurting, and like I think that's the energy that you really want to have be flowing right now, that's kind of like stuck, you know? Um you feel kind of like, yeah, like stuck and trapped by that. Like you got imprisonment here as well. Interesting. 4 of Swords. Okay. So as much as like I know that you probably don't want to hear this right now, I'm getting that like you're where you're supposed to be. Which we're always where we're supposed to be, even when it feels like it sucks, you know? Um, it's interesting that these are the cards that are coming up in this reading, because just as I was sitting here kind of getting ready for the reading, I was doing some meditation and honestly kind of noticed that this is a lot of the energy that I'm feeling right now. It's funny how that works. You know, these readings are for you guys, but since they're coming through me, they're also kind of partially for me as well, because, you know, I am a member of the collective. I just happen to be on this side of the camera, you know? That's really interesting. So I'm getting, Spirit says, you are where you're meant to be, and that you kind of need to just lean into what you're feeling right now. You know, it's something that I did in the meditation earlier that kind of helped clear some things up, or like, you know, settle some things down. Is there's just like been this bizarre energy so far today, and instead of like questioning it, like at first I was like, what is this? And instead of questioning it, I eventually just kind of like sat with it and just like let it be. um it's still kind of there. I'm honestly like, I'm feeling this Knight of Wands in reverse very strongly right this second. I'm feeling a little bit agitated, a little bit frustrated, and everything today as well. I was actually worried about doing this reading coming from that place, but now I'm realizing that if I'm feeling it, there's people out there, you guys are feeling it as well. Um, so I'm getting that, like, normally I look at this as like the Four of Swords is like the rest and relaxation card, but I'm getting more so mental relaxation, right? Like, don't worry yourself to death over the fact that this energy feels like kind of stagnant. Like, don't worry about trying to figure it out necessarily. Like, kind of step out of the mind, is what I'm getting here from this Four of Swords. I don't think this is representative right this second of physical rest and relaxation. I think it's mental, taking a mental break. Whatever this energy is, what that is, stagnating us right now. It's not gonna. I'm getting that it's not gonna be figured out. It's not something that you need to figure out like with the mind, right? I think it's something that you need to kind of just like sit in and be with for a bit. We've got the Sun. Yeah. So I'm getting that from detaching mentally, from like taking that mental break, that's actually what's going to cause like the sun to come out of the clouds. Like the sun's going to start shining on us, on our situation. Once we take that mental break and stop trying to like figure the energy out, and just let it be. Sometimes as much as we want to figure everything out, like the mind naturally wants to like wrap itself around everything and kind of get a sense of like understanding, and like wants to know why and wants to know how and when and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes it's good to just acknowledge that there are things that the mind can't wrap itself around, that like there's certain energies that like, you could spend eternity trying to describe something or trying to understand something and still not get there. I think that's kind of the reminder right now. I think that everything is fine, like, all is well, right, with the sun. Like, I think that it's from the level of the mind is where you're perceiving this like stagnation or like perceiving this like stuckness, right? And you're feeling it too. It's not that you're not like feeling it. It's not that it's only mental stuckness. I just think that you're trying to solve the problem from the level of the mind, and that's causing more trouble than it's worth. And the secret here is to take that mental break, take your focus off of the energy, off of the situation at hand, and I'm getting like almost find like a mental distraction, like if there's something that you can do that's kind of like mindless, that'll kind of like, take your thoughts off of whatever this thing is, I think that's gonna help. The sun is coming through, like the sun is going to shine on this situation. It's gonna shine on you. So maybe this weekend, maybe we're gearing up for a good weekend. Who knows? Okay, Hanged Man in reverse. Yeah, that's a theme. That's a theme right now. You're feeling like you don't have control over the situation. It's so interesting. Because with the sun, we're definitely getting the vibe of like everything's fine. Like everything's actually fine. But from our kind of like quote unquote lower perspective right now, it doesn't seem like it's fine, right? It's like you're always where you're meant to be, even if it doesn't seem like you are, even if it is uncomfortable or unpleasant, even if it feels like we're stuck or we're stagnant or that we don't have control over a situation, like it doesn't mean that you're not where you're meant to be. So I'm getting that there's a lesson here. I'm getting that maybe the mental break is the lesson, right? Like maybe the lesson is to get out of your mind, or like to keep getting out of your mind, and like maybe surrender that control. Because part of what I'm getting from this Hanged Man in reverse is also divine timing, right? Like things being out of quote unquote your control, and kind of like that bothers you, and I get it. Like I am the same way. I think we all have that tendency to like want to control things, or like be control, maybe not be controlling, but like just like to have a sense of like power in a situation, I think is the word that I'm getting. Like to have a sense of power in a situation and to feel like we're not totally and completely helpless, right? And like autonomy, right? So it's really bothering you that whatever the situation is not moving or seems like it's not moving, right? But again, I'm getting divine timing here. I'm getting like the sun will shine when it's time for the sun to shine. And that is what's happening. That is what's coming for you. But that you need to like take the pause to really like let that in. I'm also getting like the night is darkest just before the dawn, right? So maybe this for some of you could be kind of reminiscent of like Dark Night of the Soul energy, if you've ever experienced that or experienced like an ego loss experience. It's not fun, but it's what you need, you know? Like it's like medicine, right? Like I'm getting like Mary Poppins with the spoonful of sugar, right? Like that's your spoonful of sugar here that's helping this medicine go down is the sun card, and realizing that it is medicine and that you need to just take it, and it's not always going to be a pleasant experience, but like trust that the medicine is working and that you're going to come out on the other side of this much more powerful, much more aligned with your true sense of self, with your hopes, your dreams, like with your goals. Like again, everything is fine, all is well. The sun is on its way. We just have to be patient. So now we've got 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, so I'm getting financial hardship. It's funny, I think this came up yesterday as well in the reading. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So if you're seeing this but you haven't seen that one, and this is kind of resonating for you, if you're feeling like, if the fact that I'm suggesting that you go watch that reading right now is causing you to be like, maybe I should go watch that reading, check it out, because we did have like kind of a similar situation here where kind of being overspent, right? And wanting to give from a place of lack, right? I'm getting the phrase like investing with no money, right? It's like you want to invest in something, but you don't have like the money really to invest in that thing. And in this instance, I'm not necessarily seeing this as specifically money, but like for the broader idea of like currency, right? Like you can invest time into something, you can invest energy into something. And I'm getting the sense that like you really want to be investing a lot of energy into a particular thing, right? And maybe that's what's causing the stagnation, is that you just don't really have that energy, or maybe the stagnation is a sign that you don't really have that energy to invest right now. And as much as you really, really want to, because you're super excited for the sun, right? Then it's like real counterintuitive, but the mental break and getting out of the mind and like kind of surrendering and releasing that control, like accepting the delays, accepting the divine timing, just accepting and like being at peace with where you are right now, and the fact that like from your perspective it is stagnant and you are kind of like, you feel like you're lacking something, and it's like it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to like acknowledge that. Like you don't have to resist that, you don't have to fight that. It's not always pleasant, but it is important to like not gaslight ourselves and not, you know, this sun card is a true everything's fine, right? Not the mental spin of like everything's fine, everything's fine, everything will be fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting the sense that some of you are mentally telling yourselves that everything's fine and not really being willing to acknowledge that you don't have control over some aspects of not only this situation, whatever the situation is for you, this stagnation, right? But over life in general. Like there are certain things that are just completely out of our control, and that's a reality objectively that we have to accept, and there's not anything that we can do about that, you know? So I'm getting the sense of like taking that mental break is like, stop telling yourself that everything's fine. Acknowledge what your situation is, what's actually going on around you. Deal with that, like release that sense of like needing control, accept the divine timing, like allow space for spirit to come in and allow space for that sun to shine, and like embrace that, like it's not, again, it's not just the mental narrative that everything is fine, it's a truly everything's okay. Like even though right this second it doesn't feel like that, or it doesn't seem like that, it seems like things are wrong and things need to change and that they're not how they're supposed to be and all that, that it is how it's supposed to be right now. And that might be a little bit of a tough pill to swallow. It's a little bit of a tough pill for me to swallow, to be honest with you right this second. But that is what it is. Let's see what we got over here. Strength in reversed. Yeah. I'm definitely getting the sense of like, it's interesting because strength in reverse, like, I don't always see it as a lack of strength, to be honest. Like, I think you actually are very strong. And instead of it being like an outer strength, like the reverse here is giving me like inner strength. Like you're very strong internally. And I'm also getting like stubborn a little bit. Yeah. I'm getting stubborn vibes. And like you're stuck. It's so funny because it's like I'm getting that like you're stuck on trying to get something to happen and you're too stubborn to allow it to happen. You feel like you have to make it happen. Like, no, I'm gonna make this happen. I've got to do something about this, right? Like I've got to fix my stagnant, stuck energy. I've got to regain control over my situation, right? Like I've got to, yeah. But like, I'm getting, there's something really beautiful here and you're just too stubborn to see it. Now I'm wondering what that is. All right, we're gonna pull another card because what is it that we're too stubborn to see right now? What's the beautiful thing that we're too stubborn to see? We got two cards actually. So we got King of Pentacles and Three of Wands. You're being prepared for something. You're being prepared for something. That we are being prepared for something. And that's, I think, what we're too stubborn to see right now. Like we're actually being prepared in this stagnation, in this like seeming standstill, right? We're actually being prepared. This is giving us the ability to have the foresight to move in. I'm getting into, the King of Pentacles energy, like true like self-sufficiency. Like I'm getting, maybe some of you have like a business deal or like a project that you've been starting. I know that I personally have been putting a lot of time and effort into this channel lately, and like really trying to get that off the ground. I've got some other things that I've been working on too. Well, I'll do my shout outs and everything later. We don't have to do that right this second. But I'm getting the sense like we're being prepared for something, and it's like bigger than I think we're able to really see right now. Like, one of my favorite quotes is that reality is not just stranger than we imagine, it's stranger than we can imagine, right? And not necessarily that, I don't know how to apply that to this situation is like, I think that what's coming in with this sun shining and this King of Pentacles, the thing that we're being prepared for is actually way bigger. It's not only bigger than you imagine, it's bigger than you can imagine. And that's why approaching it from the level of the mind and trying to control the situation is not going to work. It's because it's bigger than the mind can grasp. It's bigger than you can really fully understand. There it is. We've now come full circle in the reading. Yeah, so you're being prepared for something that you can't even begin to fathom. Like, you can't even begin to fathom. Like, you've been, yeah. Oh my gosh, okay, what else? What else? I want to keep pulling. Let's see if we got another one. Oh god, this is feeling like this might be a long one. All right. So now we've got Queen of Cups. Y'all, we are being prepared for something that we cannot wrap our minds around. We are going to be so stable and so fulfilled. There's so much compassion, there's so much love coming in. Sturdy, stable, true, real, divine love. That's what I'm getting. We're being prepared for that right now. This stagnation is, I'm getting like calm before the storm, but like in a good way. Like I'm getting like, oh god, okay, so it's like if you imagine like a slingshot or like a bow and arrow, right? Like when the archer notches the arrow and pulls the string back, like it's in motion as it's going back, right? And for that split second before they release the arrow, it's actually still, right? But then that arrow goes launching forward. And I think like that's where we're at right now. And that's why we're feeling the way that we're feeling right now, is because there's all that tension on the bow, and we're in that like one moment right before that arrow is released. Like we're about to be shot forward at like light speed into something that we can't even fathom. That's so beautiful and so awesome and so amazing and so full of love and care and compassion and stability and abundance. Like I am getting goosebumps. I am getting chills talking about this right now because it's so beautiful. And it's like, what is it? Well, that's the whole point. You can't wrap your mind around it. You can't like, we can't fathom that. We just sense it. We just know it. That's so crazy. Man. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I wanna keep pulling cards. So we're going to, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're gonna call it here. This is your reading for YouTube. If you want to see the extended version of this reading, I'm going to keep pulling cards. We're gonna keep kind of sitting with this for a little bit. But I'm gonna post the extended reading over on my Patreon. So if you wanna see the rest of the reading, or the extended cut, if you will, you can check me out over on Patreon. That link is in the description below. As always, please leave me a like if you liked the video. Drop a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what resonates. Let me know what you think this thing is for you, right? What do you think the thing is that you can't fathom, that you're being prepared for, right? Definitely subscribe to the channel. You can turn on the notification bell if you want, and that will let you know anytime that I post new videos or anytime that I go live. I would like to do some lives. Once I get like kind of enough people on the channel, I want to be able to do just like live Q&A and like, you know, pull a couple cards for a couple people, like that kind of thing. So if that all sounds cool, subscribe, check me out. And like I said, if you want to see the extended version of this reading, it is going to be posted on my Patreon. So that said, bye YouTube.